Who doesn't love cheesecake?
I love cheesecake.
Decadent and delicious, cheesecakes are perfect for special occasions. Walter and I are going to bake one up for you that's sure to please everyone for any occasion. This cheesecake is a crowd pleaser. Let's jump in. The tools you're going to need are a bowl to mix your crust, a 9-inch springform pan. You can use another size, and I'll get into that later. Another pan to put the springform pan in, a mixer of some sort, parchment paper, tin foil, scissors, and a pencil. I know this seems like a lot, but trust me, it's worth it. The first thing you're going to want to do is take the bottom out of the springform pan and, using the pencil, trace it on the parchment paper. Then, cutting along the inside of the line, cut a piece that will fit inside the pan. This step is optional, but it helps the cake release from the pan better and prevents scratches when you're serving as well. Next, take 2 pieces of tin foil and make a plus sign. Then wrap up the bottom and sides of the springform pan. This is to prevent water from seeping into the cake when we give it a nice warm bath. With that out of the way, let's make the crust. You'll need 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs, and to that add a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and give it a good whisk. Then add 1/3 cup or 6 tablespoons of melted butter and try not to dump it on the counter. Stir or whisk until it's well mixed and there are no lumps. Now dump the mixture into the springform pan and work the crumbs toward the sides and up about halfway, patting gently. You want to leave about 1/4 inch thick on the bottom. It should look something like this and should pass bulldog inspection. Then put the whole thing into the freezer while we make the batter. To make the batter, you're going to need 5 large eggs, 4 bricks of cream cheese, each 8 ounces, white sugar, vanilla extract, sour cream, and a mixer. And by the way, if you don't have a stand mixer, you can use a handheld one in a large bowl. I don't know if you can do this with just a spatula, but if you have good forearm strength, I'm sure anything is possible.
Forearms like Popeye.
Anyway, add the bricks of room temp or softened cream cheese to your bowl. If you don't have the time to wait for the bricks to get to room temp, you can zap them in the microwave for about 30 to 40 seconds, outside of their packaging, of course. To the cream cheese, add 1 1/4 cups of white sugar and blend on low to medium speed for a couple of minutes until it starts to have a creamy consistency, scraping off the blade and down the sides of the bowl a few times. Now it's time to add the eggs, 5 large to be exact. I like to add the eggs one at a time, cracking them into another small bowl first to avoid getting any shells in the batter. After the eggs have been mixed in, add a 1/2 cup of the sour cream and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and blend the whole thing, scraping the blade and down the sides until it's well mixed. Then just clean up your mess and set your oven for 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's time to do some baking. Take the cheesecake out of the freezer and place it inside the larger pan and pour in your batter, making sure to get all that creamy goodness. Then place the whole thing in the oven and add enough hot water to the larger pan to go about halfway up the side of the springform pan, if you can. Then set your timer for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, lower your oven temp to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and reset your timer for another 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, you want to start checking the cheesecake until the top is starting to get golden brown and the interior temp is at least 160 degrees. Mine is 180, but that's okay as long as the cheesecake is still jiggly. Then carefully remove from the bath and transfer to a wire rack to cool for a good 30 minutes or so. When the cheesecake has cooled to the touch, it's time to make the topping. In a separate bowl, add a 1/2 cup of the sour cream, 2 teaspoons of white sugar, and blend until well mixed and smooth. Then just spread it on top. Now, this is an optional step, but I think it really dresses up the cheesecake nicely and is a great backdrop for other toppings we can add later. When you have it looking nice, put the cheesecake back into the fridge uncovered for 30 minutes or so to set. After the topping has firmed up, you can go ahead and smooth it out a bit more and then add more toppings if you want. You can also do this the next day as well. I'm using Torani syrups here, dark chocolate and caramel, mostly because they taste good and it's convenient to have the squeeze bottles for the application. But you can use whatever you like or nothing at all. To cover it, I'm going to first add a piece of paper towel to capture moisture that might puddle up on the cake from condensation. And over that, I'll wrap it tightly with tin foil. Then into the fridge it goes for at least 4 hours, but it's better to do it overnight if you can. Hey, okay, it's been about, not quite 24 hours, but definitely overnight. And we're going to unwrap this and see what it looks like, slice it up, and see how it tastes. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's get a close-up view. Let's see if this paper towel thing worked. Take it off, and it looked like it got on there a little bit. So that doesn't look quite as pretty as I was hoping. So, but you could, I don't know if you can see this, but sometimes when I do the cheesecakes, unless I let them cool completely in the refrigerator, condensation will build up if there's any kind of heat at all on it, and you'll have pools of water on the cheesecake. So that's why I wanted to try using the paper towel. And you can see how the paper towel really soaked up a lot of that condensation. So I didn't get that there, but it weighed it down, and then it made that mark there. But you know, that could be, I think we can fix that up. Carefully. Very nice. Okay, so that part came off pretty good. Now I'm going to try to slice this in kind of a unorthodox thing I saw on, you know how you use a knife and it gets all kind of sticky on the side of the knife? You got to use hot water, do it again, do it again. I saw this thing, this lady, I'll leave a link to it. She used dental floss to cut straight across. I don't know if this is going to work. I've never done it before, so let's see. A lot of times when you do New York cheesecakes, it gets shrunken down and it's not as high as this is. This pretty much is at the height of where I poured the batter. It didn't sink down really that much. And the reason it's more fluffy and not as condensed as a lot of New York cheesecakes are is because of the water bath. The water bath creates the steam to keep the interior of the cake more moist and fluffy. Plus, we added a little bit of sour cream to it, and that also kind of lightens it up a little bit. All right, let's take a bite. It tastes just like a cheesecake should taste. I mean, not too sugary. You would think it might be because of the icing, but remember, it's only 2 teaspoons of sugar in that icing, sour cream topping. So I like the addition of the chocolate. I'm getting a little hint of the caramel too. It's very good. The crust is good. Now you can also use, back in the day, I used to use Oreo cookie crumbs. I don't know if they still make those anymore, but you could take chocolate cookies, not with the stuffing, but just regular chocolate cookies, like chocolate wafers or something, and grind them up in your food processor and use those instead of graham cracker crumbs or ginger snaps. There's a lot of variations. Also, for the top, you could go fresh fruits, blueberries, strawberries, or even strawberry preserves that you warm up and drizzle on. I used to do Nutella quite a bit. So anyway, this is definitely something you should make the day before. It's not too hard to do, and I think when with all the, you need a few extra things like for the water bath. But if you have that, now if you don't have it, what you could do, if you don't have something that the 9-inch springform pan will fit into, or a 10-inch or whatever you're going to be using, you can put, and I've done this before and it works pretty good too. You can put like a Pyrex dish or a baking dish or something like that on the rack underneath the cheesecake, and put water in there, and that moisture will also help to keep it kind of fluffy. It won't work as good as the water bath, but it'll work pretty good. Anyway, I hope you will try this because it's delicious. You can make yours look a lot prettier than I can, and hope you have a great holiday season. So from my family to yours, peace and goodwill. And if you're feeling like you're in the goodwill spirit, hit that like and subscribe button. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Who's a good boy? Huh? You take a kiss. You're a good boy. Ow! Ah, you sneezed right in my face.